Good morning and welcome to our very special pantomime edition of Library Adventures Live. Now, my name's Linda and I'm one of the librarians at Kirklees Libraries, and I've been very lucky to present quite a few of these over the year. We've also had Olivia and Tiff, we've had Hannah, we've had Ambreen, we've had Jude, we had Amanda, we've had Nicola. I think nearly all the team have presented, and it's been quite a steep learning curve for us because we weren't used to presenting things online, but COVID made us do things differently, and we've all had such an amazing time this year. We've had loads of fun. We haven't had time to put together one of those blooper things, but honestly, if you'd have seen what's been going on behind the scenes, you'd have giggled as much as we have. So, enough about me. Today, we are going to have Manky Hardup. Now, Manky Hardup is the ugly sister in Cinderella, and that's a pantomime that's taking place this year at York Theatre Royal. So last year we had the lovely Robin Simpson, who came to talk to us as Dame Dorothy Trot, and this year he's been helping us with our pantomime as Manky Hardup. Now you'll just have to bear with us because we have all this on videos. We've had a practice this morning, we've had a giggle, and if it goes wrong, it just goes wrong. We'll just have to carry on with it. But then that's in the spirit of Christmas and pantomime. So I'm going to now try and share my screen to introduce Manky Hardup. We just go through it nice and slowly so that I don't do it wrong.
Hello, my name is Manky Hardup, and I'm just about to go on stage and do a performance of Cinderella here at York Theatre Royal. But I'd like to invite you all to Manky Hardup's Festive Wonders. I'll be doing some stories and some poems and a behind-the-scenes expose of the pantomime here at the theatre. So join me soon, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.
So that was that's Manky Hardup. What did you think to his outfit? How he wears all those costumes, I do not know. I bet it's very hot under the lights, especially. So we're going to go back to Manky Hardup, who's going to tell us the story of Cinderella.
Hello, boys and girls, mums and dads, and whoever else is watching. I'm going to be telling you a story, and it's a story all about me. So settle back, sit still, stop eating mince pies, stop fidgeting, and open up your lug holes. Enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a lovely, sweet, adorable and kind young woman, and her name was Manky Hardup. Now she had a sister, and her sister wasn't quite as sweet, lovable and as kind as she was, but still she was quite nice. Her name was Mardy Hardup, and those two sisters got along so well. They hardly ever argued. Well, they argued sometimes, I suppose. Well, all right, they argued all the time. But listen, they loved each other very much. And the two sisters lived here in Hardup Hall with their father, Baron Hardup. And yeah, that was it. No one else lived here. And they all lived happily ever after, and that's the end of the story. Thank you for listening. See you later. You are? Cinderella? Who's that? Never heard of it. Do I have to? Oh, all right, then.
I knew that would happen. It's not the end of the video, Hannah. He just pretends it's the end of the video. Can we go back to his video?
Apparently, I have to tell you about this other girl that we lived with called Cinderella. How best to describe Cinderella? Well, she was rubbish. a complete loser. She was nowhere near as lovely as I am, certainly not as attractive. I mean, everybody said so. My sister said so, I say so. Everyone. Cinderella was my stepsister, and she was so annoying. I mean, even her name is annoying, isn't it? Cinderella. It's just so wet. "Oh, Manky," she'd say to me. "Oh, you look so lovely today. Oh, Manky," she'd say to me, "let me help you carry those heavy things into the house. Oh, Manky," she'd say to me, "you're the best sister ever." Yeah, whatever, Cinderella, you little creep. So annoying that I had to send her off to do all the housework, just to keep her out the way. It was for her own good, really. So Cinders did all the cleaning. She swept the floor, she washed the dishes, changed the beds, cleaned the clothes, and she was very happy to do all that. Oh, Cinderella loved being a servant. As far as I know, I never asked her about it. She also slept in the cellar in front of the fire on a straw bed with the mice. Oh, she loved mice, you see. She wanted to spend all night with them. She loved them so much. Well, she insisted, and who am I to make her change her mind? What happened next? Oh, yes. It just so happened that the prince of the land was throwing a ball. Not a bouncy ball, but a dancey ball. Yeah, a big old dance, and everybody in the land was invited. Well, everyone who was rich and well-connected. Now, it just so happened that my father was rich and well-connected, and so my sister and I were to receive an invitation each. And one day, there came a knock on the door. "Cinderella!" I shouted, because I was much too busy to open the door myself. Now, who should come in but the prince's messenger carrying an envelope in his hand? Oh, I was so excited! I love a good ball, me. I eagerly tore open the envelope and pulled out an invitation. Oh, it was written on gold paper. It had the little crinkly edges, the flowery writing. It was dead posh. And I read, "You are cordially," don't know what that means, "invited to the prince's ball at the royal palace this Saturday night. 7 p.m. till late. Bring a bottle." Oh, my goodness. I passed another invitation over to my sister, and then imagine my surprise. Imagine my shock. Imagine my horror when I looked into the envelope and there was a third invitation in there. Who on earth could that be for? There's no other young ladies in the house. I pulled out the invitation and read the name on it. Cinderella. That can't be right, surely. The servant girl. She can't go. Everyone would laugh at her, what with her raggedy clothing and her dirty face. And as soon as the messenger had gone, my sister and I tore her invitation into tiny little pieces and threw it onto the fire. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it was for her own good, really. I couldn't have lived with myself if Cinderella had gone to the ball and everyone had made fun of her. Any road, the day of the ball came, and it was time for me and my sis to get our glad rags on. What is that floating around? "Cinderella!" I called. She could help. It's not like she had anything better to do. So she came in and she did our hair and she got us dressed and she put on our slap and oh, I tell you what, she did a good job, even if I say so myself. She seemed quite glad that we were going out and going to enjoy ourselves and not at all jealous that she wasn't going. I almost felt bad for tearing up her invitation. But then I remembered that I'd saved her from all that embarrassment. I am actually a really nice person, and I always think of other people. So anyway, I then locked Cinderella back into her cellar and went outside to wait for my carriage, and eventually arrived, and myself and my sister got in, and off we went to the royal palace. Oh, the ball was magnificent. Hundreds of people chatting and dancing and eating. Oh, the buffet. There was so much laid on. Chicken drumsticks, vol au vents, cheesy pineapple things on sticks. Oh, all that sort of thing. It was great. People were enjoying themselves. They were chatting, they were dancing, they were eating. Sometimes they were chatting and dancing and eating all at the same time. It was that kind of party. And I had a turn dancing with the prince. Oh, it was lovely. And then my sister had a turn dancing with the prince, but she's not as good a dancer as me. She's got great big clumpy feet. Yeah, the prince much preferred me. And then suddenly, a great hush fell upon the ballroom. And we all, as one, turned to look up the staircase that led up to the great double doors. For at the top of the stairs stood a girl. And she wore this amazing dress, adorned in all the colours of the heavens. The moon shone silver at her waist, and the sun rose in her hair, and on her feet were shoes made of crystal. And when they caught the light from the many chandeliers, they sparkled like stars. I mean, it still wasn't as nice as my dress, but, she looked okay. The mystery woman tripped lightly down the stairs. I mean, she walked down them. She didn't trip down the stairs, although, to be honest, I wish she had done, for the prince made an instant beeline for her, all gooey eyes and lovey-dovey. And the prince and the mystery woman, they danced together the rest of the evening. Yeah, no one else got a look in, and I was the best dancer there. And the way those two looked into each other's eyes, oh, it made me sick. In fact, I was sick, into a potted fern. But then something very strange happened. The clock struck midnight, like that. And the mystery girl suddenly looked shocked, as if she remembered something very important, and she ran up the stairs and out the double doors. Weirdo, I thought. I knew it. Nobody can be that perfect. And I tried to get the prince's attention. Hooey, Princey! Maybe he would dance with me again, but no, he just ran up the stairs after the girl. Only he stopped about halfway up and he picked up one of her crystal shoes. And he stared at it for what must have been about a minute, and then he just left. Well, that was it for the party, really. We all just shuffled off home, embarrassed. The next day there was a knock on the door. "Cinderella!" I shouted, because I was busy cutting my toenails. Cinders opened the door, and it was the royal messenger again, only this time he was accompanied by the prince himself. "Oh, your Majesty," I said, and I curtsied and bustled around him, because he's so important, Oh, maybe he'd come to his senses, and he'd realised that I was the best wife material last night after all. "Whomsoever this slipper fits, the prince shall marry," said the messenger. I mean, it wasn't a slipper, was it? It was a shoe. And I told him as much. Anyway, brilliant! It's bound to fit my foot. I mean, my feet are so tiny and dainty, and I have just cut my toenails. So I sat down on a chair, and the prince knelt down, and he pushed that shoe onto my dainty little feet. And you know what? Can you believe it? It didn't fit. Even when I took off my thick winter socks, it still didn't fit. What a swizz! Anyway, my sister had a go, and of course it didn't fit on her great big clumpers either, did it? "Are there any other ladies in this house?" asked the prince. "No," I said, "none at all." "I live here," said this really annoying voice from behind me, and I turned, and it was that Cinderella. The cheek! I mean, she's a servant. I mean, a prince would never marry a servant. An actress, yeah, but never a servant. But the prince smiled and said, well, that he'd promised to try the shoe on every young lady in the land. So Cinderella plomped herself down on the chair without so much as a by your leave, and revealed her smelly, scabby little foot. And that's the end of the story. Nothing else happened, and I lived happily ever after.
It's not the end.
You are. Yeah, all right, there's no need to go on. All right, I'll tell you the end of the story. All right, here we go. The slipper fit Cinderella's foot perfectly, and as she and the prince gazed into each other's eyes, realizing that they knew each other from the ball, a fairy godmother appeared, for some reason, and turned Cinder's rags into a beautiful dress with a wave of her wand. And apparently this was the same fairy godmother that had disguised Cinderella for the ball the other night, and told her that she'd had to leave by midnight, or some magic spell had wear off or something. And my sister and I recognised her, and we apologised for being nasty to her all these years. And in the end, she forgave us because she's really nice, and she married the princess and lived happily ever after, and that really is the end of our story. And the moral of this story is never tear up. No, that's not right. Always make sure you tie your shoes properly when you're on the. No, that's not right either. Just be nice to each other, and that's it. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this story, a story entitled Manky Hardup, or Cinderella as it's sometimes known. Tatty bye!
That's the end. What did you think of the wonderful story? I think he tells a very good story, and it was interesting to hear it from somebody else's perspective. Now I'm going to introduce Hannah, who is going to tell us a little bit about what she's been doing.
Hi everyone. Yes, me and Amber and the other apprentice have put together a nice little video for you all, and you can watch it here. So it's called What's in My Stocking. So there's loads of books that Santa kindly brought us, and they're actually available at all the libraries as well. Well, not all of them, just a selected few, but you can always put a hold on them if you wish to. And yes, I think that's it really. It's a really fun, engaging video, and I hope you go ahead and have a look.
So that's something for us to do. We're going to look at your video. Hannah and Ambreen are the apprentices that we're very, very, very lucky to have with us in Kirklees Libraries. And Hannah and Ambreen have both done some of the LAL sessions as well. So look out for all the different LAL sessions that we've been doing. Okay, now I'm going to have a look what comes next. And Linda introduces the history of Panto. So back to Manky Hardup, who's done a video from his dressing room, which is about the history of pantomime. Can you put that up, Hannah? Or was I supposed to do it? It is Panto after all.
I think it's you.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Manky Hardup, and welcome to the York Theatre Royal. We're in between performances of Cinderella at the moment, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to tell you all about pantomime and how this particular type of theatre came to be.
Pantomime has been around for ages. It really has. And it's still going strong today. It's often young children's first experience of live theatre. Taking place at Christmas time, pantomimes are performed in venues ranging in size from village halls to huge theatres. It really is for everyone. But what was the first pantomime? Where did it come from? Why do so many people enjoy watching this nonsense year on year? All these questions and many more will probably not be answered in the following video. So strap yourselves in for a whirlwind tour of the history of pantomime. I Back in the 16th century, there was a type of theatre in Italy called commedia dell'arte. In English, that means art comedy. Commedia dell'arte. You see, troops of performers would travel all over Italy, stopping off at various towns and villages, and they'd perform their shows. They were always funny and fast-paced and had scenes of people falling over or being hit over the head, what we call slapstick. Slapstick is still a very popular form of comedy, and many film stars in the early days of cinema became very famous performing slapstick in their movies. Being hit in the face with a custard pie, falling over, silly chase scenes, being hit over the head, kicking someone up the bum, and dances. All this silly comedy started with the commedia actors in their shows. While performing their commedia, some of the characters wore masks, such as these. The characters in the commedia plays were based on people that we can all recognise. There was Columbine, a young romantic girl, much like Cinderella, Piero, a clown, and Pantalone, a silly old man. Commedia had music and dances, acrobatics, and of course, comedy, just like modern pantos. There was also a character called Punchinello, and he was a servant. Now, he doesn't normally appear in modern pantomimes, but he still exists in the UK as Mr. Punch, the puppet in a Punch and Judy show. Maybe you've seen a Punch and Judy show at the park or at the seaside. By the middle of the 17th century, commedia had spread across the whole of Europe. It really was so popular. When the Italian actors reached Britain, very few of them could speak English, and very few English could speak Italian. So it was a bit of a problem, really. So the commedia actors started to cut all the dialogue from their performances, leaving just the dances and the songs and the comical chases. In fact, without any dialogue, any words, they were mimed. And that's where the mime part of the word pantomime comes from. In fact, the word pantomime means all kinds of mime. The British adopted this Italian style of comic theatre, and it became very popular indeed very quickly. But over the years, it evolved and it started incorporating British characters and stories into the performances. By the 18th century, pantomime was flourishing, but a lot of theatre managers thought it was too silly and too frivolous, imagine, and that it could be a threat to all the serious plays that they wished to put on. For that reason, pantomime was only put on at Christmas time, but it quickly became associated with all the fun of the festive period. And nowadays, pantomime and Christmas go together like two things that go together really well. In Victorian times, the principal boy was introduced. The principal boy is usually the hero of the story, like Jack in Jack and the Beanstalk or Aladdin in Aladdin. The principal boy was special because he was played by a girl. There are all sorts of reasons for this, but it was mostly because women in Victorian times had to dress in very large, uncomfortable dresses. Whereas in pantomime, the principal boy wore boys' clothing. It was a chance for the men in the audience to see what a woman's leg looked like. It didn't hurt the ticket sales either. This tradition has lasted to this day, and many pantomimes still have a female principal boy. It was around this time also that pantomime stories started to be based on fairy tales. And nowadays, most pantomimes are based on these sort of stories. Cinderella, Aladdin, Jack and the Beanstalk, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White. In the 1880s, a man called Dan Leno became the first modern pantomime dame. Played by a man, the dame is nearly always poor, funny, and the mother or a relation to the hero or heroine of the story. Widow Twankey is the mother of Aladdin. Dolly Trot is the mother of Jack. Nanny Fanny is the nanny of Sleeping Beauty. Men have played women on stage for centuries. In Shakespeare's day, women weren't allowed on the stage, so all the female roles were played by men, often younger boys whose beards hadn't started to grow yet. Eventually, women were allowed to act in plays, and rightly so, but often the older characters were still played by men as there weren't enough older actresses around, or the younger ones only wanted to play the more glamorous and pretty roles. And so we come to today. Pantomime is going great guns and is often the busiest time of year for most theatres. So do go along and support your local panto, won't you? It doesn't matter if it's the local village hall or one of those large extravagant productions. I promise you, you'll have a great time. Right, I'm having a satsuma.
Well, thank you very much, Manky, for the history of pantomime. Hiya, Linda. Did you enjoy that? Oh, we can't hear you, Linda.
I did. I think Manky Hardup's wonderful. Do you want to make yourself full screen while you do your bit?
I can. I just have to go up here because there's lots of people on. There we go. So I'm just going to, my name's Olivia. I'm one of the librarians. And I'm just going to introduce a couple of my favourite Christmas books. Well, winter books, I should say. First of all, every year, I like to read some version of The Snowman. So I've got this little poppet version. I'm sure you all know the story of the snowman, about the little boy who builds a snowman and he comes to life and they go on all sorts of adventures. It's got the fantastic soundtrack. So we read some version of this, and we have all sorts of different versions available in libraries. We've got the traditional one that came out in 1978, and we've got newer ones. There's even some online ones. If you have a look at our Overdrive online book site and also Libby, our app, you can find the online versions. And on our regular website, oops, I spelt that wrong, so I'm just going to take that down. On our website, kirkleyslibraries.co.uk, you can find out all the different books that we've got available, the different versions of The Snowman. One thing I also like to do, I like to watch the Snowman DVD as well. So we've got a bit of a Christmas tradition. So that's one you probably will know. Now, some ones that you might not be so familiar with. This one's called Jack Frost. It's by Kazuno Kohara, and we have copies of this in our libraries. It's beautiful woodcut illustrations. It's all about a little boy who hates winter, but with the help of his new friend Jack, he comes to love it. And my last recommendation is Winter's Child by Angela McAllister, and it's illustrated by Graham Baker Smith. And this one is about a boy who loves winter, but in the end, he gets a little bit worried that winter is going to go on too long and be too harsh for his nana. So in the book, he makes friends with Winter's Child, and I won't spoil the ending, but Winter's Child does the right thing and saves the day. So those are some really fantastic books that you might enjoy. So remember, you can have a look on our website and find out which books we've got in our libraries, and you can go on Overdrive or Libby and find out which ebooks we've got available. Now, I think we're back to Manky now for a poem. I think he's going to be doing The Night Before Christmas. I'm hoping this is going to appear as if by magic any minute. In the meantime, I'll tell you again how to find our books. Our website is kirkleyslibraries.co.uk. Now, if you do the /LAL, that takes you to all the LAL sessions that we've had throughout the year, and you can watch those. If you don't do the lal bit on the end, it can take you to our main website and you can find out when we're open over Christmas and you can get access to our ebooks and all sorts of things. Now, I'm just going to have a look whilst we're waiting for this video to come up. I'm just going to see. Oh, no, nothing going on there. We have had a comment from a viewer. People are enjoying this. We've got some lovely hearts that have come up from Alessandra. And we've got other people enjoying it. So do please type in if you've got any pantomime-based comments or if you've enjoyed our lal sessions. So whilst we're waiting for this poem, oh, there we go.
Oh, hello, sorry. You just caught me having a little bit of sherry. That was a present from Father Christmas last year. Oh, talking of Father Christmas, I'm now going to read you a poem. Don't be too scared, don't run away. It's just a poem. It's called The Night Before Christmas. Well, actually, it's called A Visit from St. Nicholas, but its more common name is A Night Before Christmas. It's quite a famous poem, you know, and it was written a long, long time ago. It's even older than I am. It was written in 1823, which makes it 198 years old. And it was written by a man called Clement Clark Moore, who was from the USA. Now, as it's quite an old poem, I will have to stop from time to time to explain its vernacular. And if you don't know what vernacular means, just look it up. Right, okay, let's crack on then. This is A Night Before Christmas, or A Visit from St. Nicholas, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be reading it in the traditional way from off of an iPad. Right, here we go. The Night Before Christmas, or A Visit from St. Nicholas, whatever you want. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. I said not even a mouse. Yeah, go on. Oh, that cheeky little mouse. They're always hanging around, aren't they? The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. St. Nicholas is another name for Father Christmas or Santa Claus. Got a lot of names, haven't he? The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. I don't know what a sugar plum is. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. I don't know why people wore hats to bed in the olden days. Maybe it was cold. Maybe they were all bald or something. I don't really know. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash. And I tore open the shutters and I threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a lustre of midday to objects below. And what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. I don't know why they're so small. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came. Coursers, I think, are the reindeers. And he whistled and shouted, "Oi!" and called them by name. Now, I don't know if you know all the names of the reindeers. Shall we do it? Here we go. This is what he said. "Now, Dasher, now..." This is my Father Christmas voice. "Now, Dasher, now, Dancer, now, Prancer and Vixen, on, Comet, on, Cupid, on, Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. Ho, 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 ho." That's how he laughs, isn't it, Father Christmas? Ho, 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 ho. As leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard, on the roof, the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot. I guess it's cold outside. It keeps him warm, I suppose, in the winter. And his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. Oh, the dirty thing. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back. And he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. A peddler is someone that went from place to place and sold things. So he looks like a peddler with his sack full of toys. His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, just like mine, look. And his nose, like a cherry, similar to mine, really. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings and then turned with a jerk like this. And laying a finger aside of his nose, giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. I don't know whether he floats up or whether he has to climb back out. I'm not sure how it works, really. He sprang to his sleigh and to his team gave a whistle, like that, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Hi everyone, my name's Tiffany. I'm another one of the librarians. I hope you enjoyed Manky Hardup's version of A Night Before Christmas. And I'm here to give you some more festive book recommendations. So the first one I wanted to share with you is called The 12 Green Days of Christmas. It's a fabulous picture book. You can sing along to it with the tune to the 12 Days of Christmas, but it's got a really lovely environmental message and some absolutely gorgeous Christmassy pictures as well. So that one's my top recommendation for our younger viewers. The other one that I'm really excited about is called The Very Merry Murder Club. And this one's good for sort of age 10 and above. There's 13 short mystery stories in here from some absolutely excellent writers. There's some of my favourites. We've got Elle McNichol, who you might know from writing A Kind of Spark. There's Patrice Lawrence, who wrote Orange Boy and Splinters of Sunshine, which is one that I've just finished. Serena Patel from Anisha Accidental Detective, and Shauna Jackson, who wrote High Rise Mysteries. And it's edited, as well as Serena Patel, by Robin Stevens, who I know my two daughters are big fans of Robin Stevens' Murder Most Unladylike series. So this is a super one. It's got Christmassy crimes, festive foul play, and murderously magnificent mysteries. And then my last one I wanted to share with you, and I do hope if you've got festive book recommendations as well, you'll share them with us down in the chat. This one is for age around 8, and it's called The Christmas Carols. It's a really funny book, this one, about a girl called Holly, who comes from a Christmas-obsessed family, and she's been homeschooled, but it tells the story of what happens when she starts real-life school. And if you've been watching the nativity films and enjoyed them, then this is one that I think you'll really love. Excellent. So looking forward to hearing about your festive book recommendations as well. And in the meantime, we're going to go back to Manky Hardup, who's going to do another poem for us. And this one's called Bertram's Noisy Bottom.
Right, so we're just going to find that. Save. If we share our screen again, this time we should have, all being well, we should have Manky Hardup telling us another poem.
Thanks, Linda.
Now I'm going to perform a poem for you. This poem was written by my very good friend, Paul Hawkyard, and it's about a very noisy bottom called Bertram. This is the story of Bertram the Bottom, who made rude noises and smelled something rotten. Now, you may not think there's a problem with that, but Bertram belonged to an aristocrat. Whenever invited to a posh house for lunch, for breakfast, tea, 11s or brunch, as soon as a nice conversation would start, Bertram would let out an enormous great The poor man would blush and exclaim, "Pardon me, but never again was invited for tea." Then one day, a telegram came through the door. There it lay, with the leaflets and bills on the floor. The aristocrat read the letter with poise, while Bertram was brewing to make a loud noise. "I'd like to invite you to my birthday bash. The one reservation is wear something flash. You'll be picked up at 8 in a big limousine. Bring a gift if you like, but please come. Signed, the Queen." "Oh my," thought the man, "what an honor this is. This is one do I do not want to miss. I must wear some nice clothes, not just sweatshirt and jeans. But most importantly, I must stay off the beans." At 8 o'clock sharp, he stood outside his flat, looking dapper, he thought, in his brand new top hat. The car picked him up and drove down the mall, and then dropped him off promptly at the gates of Book Pub. He walked the red carpet and felt like a star. He joined presidents and princes and dukes from afar. The table of food seemed as long as a mile, with lobsters, and caviar. This was dining in style. He was seated by servants who took his top hat next to a princess from Russia and her white Persian cat. Next to her was a king, and next to him was a czar, and opposite them, a big football star. The aristocrat was the happiest he'd been. When an announcement came over, "Please stand for the Queen," they stood up and applauded, then sat down to dine. And the first course and the second were simply divine. Then, just as the man ate his rhubarb crumble, he got a strange feeling and his tummy started to grumble. The feeling moved down to where Bertram sat. The man panicked and shouted, "Could you please fetch my hat?" He leapt from his chair. But not quite quick enough. Bertram pushed harder and let out a cough. The man squeezed his cheeks so Bertram could not speak, but he couldn't hold on. And then out came a squeak. The squeak was then followed by an echoing trump, then a pop, and a peep, and a resounding great pump. The white Persian cat, startled from deep sleep, made his fur stand on end, and in one giant leap he landed with grace in the centre of the feast. And then, spitting with fright like a great furry beast, he clawed at the jelly
and stalked up the table and attacked like a tiger a duchess's sable. The guests all fell silent and turned to the queen. She stared at the man whose face had turned green. She took hold of the cat, and her eyes closed to half. Her lips curled up at the edges, and she let out a laugh. Her body was shaking. She just couldn't stop. She giggled so hard that her bottom went pop. How wonderfully spiffing, cried the mayor of Antwerp, promptly lifting his leg and did his own body burp. Then a duke said, I've dropped one, though you never could tell, it's silent but deadly. Boy, does it smell. A man down the table was wearing a kilt, and the noise that he made had a wee Scottish lilt. I want to join in, yelled the king of Calcutta, and he's pushed and he squeezed till he made his pants flutter. Oh. When the party was over, the queen was quite sad. She said to the duke, That's the best one we've had. I know, said the duke. It was quite a slow start, but it soon livened up when we heard that chap fart. Now to bed, said the queen. I can't wait for next year. Then she looked at the duke. No more pumping, my dear. The aristocrat went to bed, and he grinned. Who thought I'd be so liked because of my wind? Good night, Bertram, he said, who replied with a guff. As a bottom, you're tops. And he turned the light off. The next morning, at 9, just outside on the stair, lay a brown paper parcel labelled, Handle with care. The man carefully unwrapped it, and inside was a jumper. Oh, on the back, in gold letters, it read, The Queen's Royal Trumper. The end.
What did we think to that then?
It was very rude.
It was very rude, but it was very funny. So now do we think we have time for a game, girls?
I think so.
I think so too. Right. So last year when we had pantomime, we had Dame Dolly Trot, and Dame Dolly Trot was telling us all about Jack and the Beanstalk. And so what I'd like to do now is play the Jack and the Beanstalk game. And I know that we're all going to join in. If I disappear, it's because I've got a background which makes me go funny when I move around. But I know that Olivia and Tiff and Hannah are just dying to join in. So I'm going to start that one now. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing so that you know what I'm doing. I'm putting it back to the beginning, and then I'm going to go into my StreamYard and I'm going to share my screen. There we go. And I want you all to join in this game because we've been sitting still so long now. We all need to play the game. Are we ready? Dame Dolly Trot. Panto the game.
Welcome back. And now it's time to play a game. Yes, I know. I'm as excited as you are. Now, this is a game that you can play either on your own, or if you're with other people in the room, you can play it with them too, which is nice, isn't it? Now, this is a game where you need to play it on your feet. So come on, up, off your backside, stand on your feet. Come on, everyone. Yes, I see you. Come on, up on your feet. You two grown-ups, come on, all up on your feet. That's it, right. Are you all ready? Good. Then we'll begin. Here's the rules. The rules. jingle, jingle bells, jingle.
What I'm going to do is shout out various Jack and the Beanstalk or pantomime themed words, and you will do an action or sometimes a sound and an action to go with that word. It's dead easy, really. I'll show you with the help of my lovely assistant, Dame Dolly Trot. Dame Dolly, are you ready, love? Excellent. Let's do it then. Right then, the first word I'll shout out is the word Jack. And when I shout Jack, I want you to do this. It's a traditional pantomime hero pose. Hands on hips, and you can even slap your thigh if you like. Should we give it a go? Are you ready? Here we go. Jack. Did you do it? Brilliant. Okay, the next word I'm going to shout out is giant. And when I shout out giant, I want you to do this. Fee-fi-fo-fum. Stomp around and shout fee-fi-fo-fum at the top of your voice so you annoy all the neighbours. So should we give that a go? Are you ready? Giant!
Fee-fi-fo-fum.
Did you do it? Brilliant. Okay, and the third word I'm going to shout out is beanstalk. And when I shout out beanstalk, I want you to do this. Make yourself as tall as possible. Lovely. Should we give it a go? You ready? Steady. Beanstalk! Right, so we've got beanstalk and giant and Jack. Are you ready to do the actions and maybe the sounds? Here we go. And let's play. Okay, there's Dame Dolly getting ready. Lovely. There she is. Are you getting ready? Excellent. Right, Jack. Come on, put your hands on your hips. Brilliant. Lovely. What's next? Beanstalk. That's it. Make yourself nice and tall. Brilliant. Giant. Stomp around. That's it. Go fee-fi-fo-fum. Lovely. And Jack. You know what to do. Put your hands on your hips. That's it. Giant. Go on. Stomp around. Lovely. What's next? Beanstalk. Make yourself nice and tall. Tall as you can. Tippy toes. Beanstalk. Let's do it again. Nice and tall as you can. Whoop. Jack. Hands on hips. Slap your thigh if you want. Yeah. Lovely. That's it for the first part. Right, let's make the game more complicated now. I've got 3 more words for you. Pantomime cow, stage left, and stage right. And if I shout pantomime cow, I want you to do this. Moo. I want you to put your fingers on your head like that, like horns, and I want you to moo loudly. Moo. Moo. And if you're playing this with someone else, one of you can decide to be the front of the pantomime cow, moo, and the other one can decide to be the back of the pantomime cow. Hold on to the person's waist and bend over like that, like you're the cow's bum. You can take it in turns if you like. Whoever decides to be the front or the back, it doesn't really matter. Okay, should we give it a go, either on your own or with a partner? Here we go. Pantomime cow, moo. That was lovely. And now we're going to do stage left and stage right. Stage left is the side of the stage over to the left, and stage right is the side of the stage over to the right. It's obvious, really. So if I shout stage left, I want you to do this. And if I shout stage right, I want you to do this. Now, obviously, you go to the opposite direction, the direction I'm running in on the screen, because I'm going to my left, but I want you to go to your left. All right? Should we give it a go? Ready? Stage left. And now let's try stage right. Brilliant. Right, let's try putting these 3 together. Are you ready? Here we go. Ready for the next round? Here we go then. Let's start with pantomime cow. Come on. Either on your own or with a partner. Moo. Brilliant. Okay, what's next? Stage left. Go on. Quick as you can. Run to the left. Your left, not my left. That's it. Lovely. Stage right. The other side of the room. Go on. Nice and quick. Come on, man. There's it. Lovely. Stage left again. Well, I'm getting you running around down track all over the place. Pantomime cow. Go on. Stick your hand. That's it. Horns. Stage right. Stage right. Go on. Over to the right. That's it. Go on, Dolly. What are you waiting for? Lovely. And stage left. I do like to get you running around. Off she goes. Lovely. Stage right. Go on.
are. Brilliant. What's next? Pantomime cow. Go on. Nice loud moo. Stage left. That's it. Trot along. And now to finish the game, we're going to put all 6 words together. So let's remind ourselves what they are. We've got Jack, hands on hips, slapping the thigh. We've got giant, stomping your feet and shouting fee, fi, fo, fum. We've got beanstalk, making yourself as tall as possible. We've got stage left, stage right, and pantomime cow, either on your own or with someone else. Right then, should we give it a go? Let's see how fast you can do it. Here we go. You ready? Get ready for the last stage. Here we go. Are you ready? Pantomime cow, either on your own or with someone else. Come on. That's it. Moo. Stage left. Go on, run over to the left-hand side of the room. Go on, that's it. Lovely. And giant, stomp your feet and shout, fee, fi, fo, fum. I'm coming right up to the camera there, look at that. Stage right, go on. Over to the right-hand side of the room. That's it, go on, Dolly. Jack, oh, we've not had this one for a while. Put your hands on your hips. That's it, lovely. Oh, slap of the thigh. Jack, let's do it again. Hey, hands on hips. Slap of the thigh. Lovely. Stage left. Go on, over to the left-hand side of the room. That's it, nice and quick. Brilliant. Beanstalk. Not done this for a while. Beanstalk, nice and tall. Great. Ooh, little twirl. Maybe we'll do that again. Beanstalk. Stick your hands in the air and give us a twirl. Just like Dolly there, lovely. Giant. Stomp around. Shout fee, fi, fo, fum. Look really angry. Ooh. Stage right. Pantomime cow again. Horns. Moo. Jack. Oh, hands on hips. Hero pose. Hero of the day. Beanstalk. There you go. Nice and tall. Jack again. Come on. Nice Jack pose. Oh, yes. Giant. Oh, nice and stumpy. Angry giant. Who's stolen my chicken? Stage left. Off she goes. Lovely. And stage right. I like to get you running around. And Jack. Let's be Jack again. Why not? Hands on hips. Beanstalk. Nice and tall on your tippy toes. See how high you can get. Lovely. That's it. Well done, everyone. Oh, look. You did it. Ta-da! And that's the game finished. Well done, everyone. Oh, you've got a well-deserved sit down now. Help yourself to a mince pie and a little sherry.
Well, I'm exhausted now. I moved around so much, I knocked Rudolph off my sofa. He's fallen down the back now.
Well, all that running around. What did you think, girls? I'm quite warm now. I don't know about you two. Right, I'm going to have to go back to my little sheet now because I had so much fun running around playing that game, Panto game. There we go.
Linda, we've had a lovely comment come in.
Oh, what have we got? What have we got?
We've had Faye, who is loving Manky and the fun broadcast.
Good.
Thanks, Faye.
Okay, so I'm just looking at my time now. We've just got a couple of minutes left. So from me, I'd just like to say a very, very happy Christmas to everybody. I hope you have as good a Christmas as possible with all this silly pandemic thing that's going around. But I hope you have a really lovely Christmas, and I hope Father Christmas comes to all your houses. I shall be outside in the garden on Christmas Eve because I watch for Father Christmas every year. And even though I don't see him, there's always a really nice magic in the air. And I love Christmas. So that's a happy Christmas from me. I'm going to hand over to Tiffany and then Hannah, and then I'm going to finish off with Olivia, who's going to tell us a little bit about what to look out for in the new year. So over to Tiff.
Yep. Happy Christmas, everybody. I hope you're going to read lots of books and get lots of books in your Christmas stockings, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you for having me on, Linda.
Over to Hannah.
Yep, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I definitely did. It was a barrel of laughs. And I hope you go and look at the videos and the books that we promoted today and have a lovely time this Christmas.
And over to Olivia.
Thank you. So next year, we've got loads of amazing LAL sessions all ready and raring to go. The first one, we're going to have The Wolf Secret. So we'll be having the illustrator, Julia Sada. She's going to come on the 18th of January and talk about her beautiful book. And I get to be the one that presents it, so I get to meet her. So I'm very excited. And you can actually borrow this book. Excuse me, I've corrected my spelling now, so I can put the correct banner up. If you go to kirkleyslibraries.co.uk, if you go there, you can have a look on our website, and you can go to our library catalogue. I'm so excited about Christmas, I've forgotten what to say. You can go to our library catalogue and you can find out which libraries have got copies of this. And if it's not in your one, you can get it sent to you. And have a lovely Christmas.
Right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to... Hannah, are you okay to do the last video? Or shall I find it?
Which one's the last one?
It's the farewell video.
Oh, right. I can have a go.
If not, I've got it, don't worry. We didn't practice this enough, I don't think, when we started. So
Got it.
Have you got it? Brilliant. In that case, what we're going to do is...
And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my video this year. On behalf of myself, Manky, Hardup and Kirklees Libraries, I'd like to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I've got to go and do another performance of Cinderella now, so I'll see you soon. Tatty bye.
So, goodbye from Manky Hardup, goodbye from Kirklees Libraries, and we hope to see you all in the new year. And that's it from us. Thank you so much. It's been a bit jumpy, but it's been fun and I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to put everybody back so that we can all wave goodbye and end our broadcast. Bye bye, everybody. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.